I mean, last night was amazing, and all I wanted was to get on that podium. And you know, I've said this whole time that it was about chasing Sarah and making it a race, and she kind of kicked my butt. But you know, it was, for me, it was about getting up there and giving it everything that I had. And I've always had to set really high goals, and setting it at wanting to race Sarah is the top bar. And so that was my goal, and to get in there and give it my all. And I couldn't be more proud with getting the bronze medal, and I also couldn't be more proud to be in that pool with Sarah. And you know, she's a friend of mine. I've loved watching her journey as well, and you know, I feel like she really deserved that medal, and so that was really cool to be a part of that. And the silver medal before that, I mean, I've never wanted to be on a relay so badly, and I don't know if that's because I got sixth at trials, and then because it was, you know, dependent on the prelims team, it was dependent on how my 100 fly prelims went, and to have that fire of so badly wanting to be on that team, and also the nerves of walking out and knowing what those 3 other girls have done in 100 freestyles, and not wanting to let my team down, and fighting for them. And so that was an absolutely incredible experience to get to be with those girls.
I really don't have any opening remarks, because I guess. Okay, today. So today starting at 2 a.m. with me trying to go to bed. It was quite the struggle from my neck down. My body was exhausted, but from my neck up, my mind was just racing 1,000 thoughts a minute. And then I had to wake up at the crack of dawn for 6 a.m. To take a bus to the Today Show. But I mean, while it was rough, I was running on like fumes. It was just an absolute blast talking on the Today Show, interviewing, being on national television. I got to take a photo with Al Roker, so that was pretty cool.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll echo his sentiments. I did not sleep a minute last night. Like, not at all. We got back probably around 3 a.m., had a little bit to eat, and I had to leave at 6:30, so at that point we had about 3 hours, and I just laid in bed. And I mean, I tried to sleep. I closed my eyes, and my mind was racing. I was just so jacked, you know. So it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to talk to you guys. You know, it's been a long journey. I had a lot of people mention to me, you know, you were so excited, like, after you finished third. I'm like, hell yeah, I was excited. I just won a freaking medal. Like, that to me is as good as a gold medal. And I said that, and one reporter looked at me like I was crazy. And I was kind of offended, but whatever. The guy probably doesn't know anything about sports. Just kidding. You know, he said that, and I was like, well, look at the circumstances that, you know, the stuff that I've just gone through. I mean, that was by far the most stacked heat of 100 breaststrokers ever. That was the fastest heat of 100 breaststrokers ever. Adam Peaty threw down the most baller time anyone's ever seen. That was incredible. So it was an honor to be in that heat. Honestly, like, that was remarkable. And the silver medal went to the previous Olympic champion and previous world record holder, Cameron Vandenberg, who's also, by the way, both those guys are super cool dudes. So to be on that medal stand with those guys and be representing my country, you know, I've always considered myself an underdog. I've had a lot to go through to get here. I didn't get here by myself, by no means. So being up on that podium meant everything to me. So that is my opening remark.
Thanks, Cody. No wonder you wanted to go last. We are not doing breakout sessions, so please ask your questions now. And please raise your hand. We have some microphones on the side, and then identify yourself, name and affiliation, and to whom your question goes. So we'll start right back there.
Hi, I'm Deirdre Fitzpatrick from First Television. There was a word that started trending last night after you guys were all on the pool deck, and the word is cupping. Can you explain? There's like, everybody's talking about this on social media, and why are so many swimmers doing cupping? Are you guys surprised that so many of us are fascinated by it?
It looks so cool. No.
Looks like we get attacked by operas.
Right, yeah, so that's pretty common.
No, I mean, it's called myofascial decompression, and I describe it as kind of it's negative massage. Like, it's the opposite of massage. Instead of pressing against the muscles, you're actually able to use the suction to kind of do the opposite. And for me in particular with butterfly, like, I feel like through my sternum and my ribs get really tight. And if you just keep shoving on them, there's only so much you can do. And so to be able to use the cup to almost help pull the rib bone and to move those intercostal muscles is really beneficial. And I know that it looks weird, but it also, helps with blood flow. It helps pull fluid or swelling out of different areas, and you're able to, put this cup on and actually like move it around. It doesn't always have to be the perfect circular suction. But yeah, I mean, I think it works great for a lot of us. A lot of us use it. Not all of us have quite as many cup marks as some of the swimmers that we've seen with them on. I mean, Nathan and Michael love it.
Yeah.
It works really well for them.
Yeah.
And so...
and also keep in mind, like, it's superficial bruising, so it's not real bruising. So, like, if you get hit, like, really hard and you bruise, it is not that kind of bruise. Like, your muscle tissue isn't torn up in there. It's just pulling blood into a specific area, and then it just kind of sits there as you release, as that tension builds, and then you release that tension, and, it's great. I use it a little bit. My fiance Allie right there does it to me during training. I'll have her put cups on my back, and she'll be like, ah! So gross, but it's cool. So sure, cupping.
Luke DeCock, Raleigh News and Observer. For Ryan, you took us through the Al Roker selfie. What else have you done today? And can you feel anything, like anything has changed yet for you?
I also had a kind of a walk-by interview with Lester Holt. Sorry, I couldn't remember his name for a second. That was really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be on NBC Nightly with him. That was really awesome. But overall, no, I still feel like, I don't know, I'm just Ryan Held, like just a swimmer on NC State. I don't feel like anything huge or like life-altering has happened to me yet. But I'm sure once I get back into the North Carolina State community, I'm sure that will all change. But for right now, I still feel the same right now.
Because it's not life-altering to have a selfie with Al Roker and have a drive-by with Lester on the back.
Hey, Rick Hasse, P Television. Ryan, for you, I just, Michael's split was, the fastest of his career at 31 years of age. You were, then you took over from there, and I was reading a quote from James Magnuson, who, lost to you guys and his team, and he says, quote, "It's always great to see a fairy tale like that unfold in a race you're a part of," and that's from a guy who got beat by you. So is fairy tale an apt description of what you guys were able to do, and also, if so, what was it like to be a part of that fairy tale as opposed to being beaten,
I think we've always had the plan and the idea that we could win the 100 free and take back the 4x100 freestyle relay that we lost to in London. I wouldn't say it's a fairy tale. It never seemed out of reach or like a long shot. I feel like it was always a possibility, a very well possibility that we could swim and win it. But maybe my personal story of me coming from like 4 years ago, not even winning the state title, got 10th or something in the 100 free in my high school state meet, and to now be on the Olympic relay, that's probably more the fairy tale, not the team's effort.
Can I follow up?
Also, to see Michael and to be a part of that and what he was able to do last night. Your thoughts on Michael's performance last night?
I mean, they call him the GOAT for a reason. He's the greatest of all time. But Michael, he's a like a Showtime performer. When the lights are on and the pressure's on, he can always bust out a good race no matter what. 100 free, 100 fly, 200 fly. He just hates losing. He cannot stand to lose, and so he's going to do everything in his power to win and go fast and beat the other guys.
Barry Spiller from the Washington Post. Dana, you've been to 3 Olympics now. I wonder what your experience after the games are, even when you were a 16-year-old. Is there a downswing? How do you're staring at a 4-year cycle again. What's to come for people who finish competition here and are staring at 2020 getting ready?
It's amazing how long it feels like 2020 is so far away, and then like even as 2016 approached, like all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, we were just in London. But I think, and we've talked about it as a team, and there's more kind of articles about kind of that Olympic low afterwards, and then I mean you've worked for something for 4 years and then you've accomplished it, and I remember in 2004 when I was 16. My whole goal was to win a gold medal at the Olympics, and then you've done that, and it's kind of like, then what? Then I was supposed to just go to high school. And I think that to refocus and to have different goals, and it's something that I've actually done kind of to calm myself down even here. It's like I'm looking forward to house repairs, I'm looking forward to taking different trips, we want to do a little vacation, like having things that you're excited about, and then to help you refocus on what are your new goals, especially if you've come and you've accomplished all of them. And I think that was hard for me in London. My whole goal was to get that individual world record and that gold medal, and then you come back and that is when those 4 years seem really long, and I had that target on my back, and I think it was really good for me this cycle around to have those 2 years off, to have had the baby, to take the target off my back and continue to come back and chase after it again.
Ben Fisher, Sports Business Journal. I've got another cupping question, sorry. Where do you get these cups? Is it a recognized manufacturer of them, or they can just be any kind of glass enclosed device?
Amazon.
You can get a set for $20 on Amazon.
Seriously though, my set was $20 on Amazon. It's pretty legit.
But there are classes that you can take. I think cuptherapy.com is one that I've heard about. There are good ways and bad ways to cup. You can't hurt yourself.
Yeah, you can. You do need to avoid certain areas, obviously, but there are trained professionals. That is not what I meant. Oh my goodness. Yeah, all right, let's end it there.
Thank you. This question will not be for the resident cupping expert, Cody. I'll let you off the hook. Dana, this is Patrick Keenis with Westwood One NBC Radio. Dara Torres is my partner for calling these swimming events. Can you and she obviously have one thing in common that most other swimmers don't, and it's having an elite career, stepping aside, having a child, and coming back and regaining an elite career. Can you speak to what we can't understand about how challenging that is psychologically, mentally, and also a follow-up, how much did you talk with Dara during that process about how she was able to do it?
Yeah, Dara has been amazing in sending me, like all through trials, she sent me really, really nice text messages and encouraging me, and we were captains together in 2009 in Rome, and so to have her as an example and someone to kind of talk with was really nice. So I didn't get to use that as much as I wanted to, as for her as a resource, but I mean it was one of those where I can honestly say I had no idea if I was going to make it here or not, and but that wasn't a negative. It wasn't a sadness. It was. That's what I wanted. I wanted to have a baby and start a family, and then to have that Olympic dream come back, and to have that itch to race again. And I've said it before, but it really was starting at ground zero, and I barely made it through warm-ups. And what I think it helped me long term is that I feel like I have a much greater appreciation for all those little baby steps that it took to get here, and knowing that I had 0 abs 16 months ago, And I think I have almost better abs now than I did pre-baby. And just to kind of really understand the process, and I think to really grasp the need for recovery. I think I before I'd always kind of just pushed and pushed and pushed, and now, you know, family came first, and nursing my son came first, and some days he didn't sleep at all, and Terry would be like, you know, stay home. And so I felt like it allowed me to have a balance that I maybe didn't have in the past, an appreciation for the recovery side, appreciation for the intensity of what I can bring, I think, to the pool also. Because to be the mom that I wanted to be meant having shorter practices. I didn't want to go in the afternoons because I wanted to be with my son. So does that just mean, oh, well, I've cut my practices in half? I don't think I would be here if that were the case. And so learning to make my hour-and-a-half practices that much more beneficial, that much more intense, that much more meaningful was what Terry and I really worked on. And so I'm looking forward to kind of reworking that for the next 4 years.
She was really excited.
Okay.
Hi, Dana. Vahe Gregorian, Kansas City Star. Just along those lines a little bit, can you just describe what you felt was the impetus to come back? I mean, I know it wasn't automatic that you were going to try to do it during that time, and maybe what, a little, if you wouldn't mind elaborating again on a little bit what the early obstacles were.
I think it really, that first drive to come back really came from being on bed rest. I was on bed rest for 7 weeks, and just laying there, I like to be busy. I like to move. And then I think really what it helped me discover was what I really love about sports. And it's really fine-tuning and finding those little details and kind of my understanding of physics in the water and how you move and power and balance, and I love all that stuff. I am not someone that just gets in the pool and you give me a 10 grand practice and I'm gonna go home feeling successful. I like thinking through how I move, and so that was part of it. Was, you know, I took 2 years off, and you know, something hurts, so you can't just go into the training room and be like, hey, let's fix this, let's work on this. And I wanted to bring that back, and so that's what really kick-started me coming back. And then I think that level of wanting to understand my body was what made the comeback also successful. Was my body was in a completely different state, and I had to go back to those basics of really, you know, all your ligaments are stretched out. Like I said, 0 abs. It wasn't, I could not get back in the pool and just pound out yardage, or I was going to hurt myself. And so, you know, really starting to understand stability, really understand anatomy, how my shoulders are supposed to move, how they're designed to get power, how to apply that to the water, and just really take it back to that fundamental level, was really exciting for me, and I loved it, because all along the way I was learning how my body was supposed to work, and then applying that into movement and into the pool, and you know, I still feel like I have so much to learn.
Sorry for my voice. Nicole Jeffrey from The Australian. I'm not sure how much you guys know about this, but a couple of days ago, Mac Horton was, he said in the mix zone that he had no time for drug cheats in reference to Sun Yang, and he said that he hoped that other clean athletes would stand up for clean sport this week, and I'm just wondering where you guys stand.
Mac Horton is a boss. I shouldn't end there, I suppose. Yeah, you know, clearly there's more that needs to be done, and clearly the circumstances we're dealing with is frustrating to a lot of athletes and unjust to a lot of athletes, especially because during this games there will probably be people who miss the podium to people who don't deserve to be on the podium, and that is wrong. And I don't have a solution for that, but it's wrong.
We have one more question.
This is actually a follow-up to that first question, but the question being, you all heard the comments that your teammate, Lily, said last night very eloquently and spoke to that. She felt strongly enough about that. Your reaction to that, Dan, maybe talk a little bit about, do you share her sentiment? Do you have more to add to that, or does she sum it up for you pretty well?
You know, it's hard because I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt, because I think that swimming has so much room to grow and improvement. You know, I liked knowing, my coach and I were talking about like how long we've run, like for track, like how many years track has been a thing that the human body does, and in comparison how little we've swam. And so how much room we have to grow I think is amazing, and it sucks that we're coming at it at a time when now we question that, and I hate to have to question that.